Hi, I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation, and the topic for discussion now is, are the Marriage Foundation online courses good? Welcome back. I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation. Here's the question. Are the Marriage Foundation online courses good? They are great. And I'm going to tell you why. But I'm also going to tell you that you may not need the courses. It may be enough for you to just watch these videos. I didn't set up the Marriage Foundation online in order to create wealth for the Marriage Foundation. I set it up online in order to convey these beautiful truths about marriage that I discovered. And this is going way back. In 2001, I was a divorce mediator. And a couple asked me to help them save their marriage instead of break it apart and help them with child sharing and asset distribution. And in those days, everyone thought, it was the trend at that time, everyone thought that communication was everything in a marriage. And of course, I'm a communications expert. And they loved my whiteboard. I had a whiteboard and we would lay everything out. And so I said, oh, okay, I'll try to help you. Give me a few months to look into marriage. First resource I went to were the people who used to send me all my business, marriage counselors. They were my best source of clients. And so they all said pretty much the same thing. Well, you'd be good at that, Paul. Go ahead and ask them what's going on and try to mediate within the marriage instead of ending the marriage. And I thought about it and I thought, you know what, there's something missing here. And so I asked a basic question. And the question is, what is marriage? Why do we get married? Why do we get married in the first place? And the answer that I finally arrived at, and it wasn't like this. Yeah, we fall in love. And then we want to marry who we know to be our soulmate. But you don't have to get married. Why do we want to get married? And the reason I came up with is that we want to be happy. And duh. And then I said, okay, so what makes us happy? And at the time I would say, well, getting a Jag. I love Jaguars. But come on, that's kind of a joke because that creates a fleeting happiness. And I had a Jag and it's fleeting, but they're always fun to drive. But the only one thing that I could think of that is universally going to create happiness is love. Love. So we get married for love, but to be happy. And somehow we aren't taught that. Worse, we're not taught how to cultivate happiness and love within our marriage. And so I started creating the system for marriages. And I did this over the course of 8 years, working with couples first and then individuals. And realized very early on that working with an individual is far better for the individual. And, you know, I would still check in. These were still my friends, the marriage counselors. I later taught them our principles and I taught them how to do it. And they all agreed that working with couples never works. Why? There's so many traps. They compete with each other in marriage counseling. Sometimes I would have a woman flirt with me. Sometimes the husband would want to be on my side. We're both guys. They always pointed to each other's flaws. They never took responsibility except to say, well, you know, I know that I have my problems too. But what they really meant was, but it's all him or it's all her. Anyway, it's not a good system. Yet it's pretty much the system that most people rely on. And some people go to marriage counseling for years. And I thought, that's insane, because we should learn how to handle our marriage and ourselves the way we learn how to drive a car or learn how to operate something. We should learn it, and then through experience, become an expert at it. Everyone has the ability to become an expert at it. And that's what the Marriage Foundation marriage courses are all about. One, we show you how to get yourself out of that hole of hell that you probably have found yourself in, and then how to cultivate the love, cultivate the happiness, and create a dynamic marriage of joy and harmony. So yes, the Marriage Foundation online marriage courses are great. Thank you for stopping by. Send a message if you'd like in the comments section, or write to one of our counselors. It's free. Thank you for stopping by. God bless you, and take care.